I never thought a dinner table could feel like a battlefield. Yet there I was, sitting across from my sister Mercy, the crystal chandelier above us reflecting her smirk like it was sharpened glass. She tapped her wine glass with one manicured nail, her voice laced with venom. "I've decided to sell the ranch," she announced, her tone casual but her eyes fixed on me like a predator. "You don't need it. You wouldn't know what to do with it anyway." My fork froze midway to my mouth. Heat surged in my chest, words trembling at the edge of my lips, ready to strike back. That ranch wasn't just a piece of land. It was the last thing I had of Grandpa, the place where I'd spent my childhood, the place where my memories were alive. But before I could speak, before my fury could spill out, Grandpa's lawyer cleared his throat. His tone was sharp enough to slice the air. "Before any decisions are made," he said, pulling out a yellowed envelope from his briefcase, "there is one more clause in your grandfather's will, one he instructed me to reveal only under certain circumstances." And in that moment, before he even read it, something in me cracked open. I felt the scream rising in my throat, not out of fear, but because deep down, I knew Grandpa had left one last secret. And that secret was going to change everything. Mercy and I were sisters only by blood. That was where the connection ended. From the moment she learned to talk, Mercy demanded attention. She was born with the kind of beauty that turned heads, golden hair, wide eyes, a smile she used like a weapon. People adored her. Teachers excused her, boys worshipped her, and even our mother, before she passed, spoiled her without shame. Me? I was the quiet one. The girl who preferred muddy boots to high heels, who sat in Grandpa's barn with a book instead of chasing after the spotlight. Grandpa saw me. He always did. He didn't care that I didn't sparkle. He cared that I listened. That I learned. That I cared for the land the way he did. I can still remember the nights I spent riding beside him under the stars. He'd point at the horizon and say, "Evelyn, this land has a soul. And one day, it'll need someone who loves it, not someone who wants to sell it." At 12 years old, I didn't understand the weight of his words. But Mercy did. And from that moment, she hated me for it. She hated that Grandpa trusted me with secrets he never told her. She hated that when something broke, he called me to fix it instead of her. She hated the key he gave me on my 16th birthday, a small bronze key on a thin chain. I thought it was nothing more than a keepsake. I wore it every day, not knowing it held the power to unravel our future. When Grandpa passed, Mercy got the ranch. I got nothing. At least, that's what the will said. I cried that night, not because I wanted wealth, but because I knew Mercy didn't love the ranch. She loved the idea of owning something I wanted. Years passed. I left for the city, tried to start over. I worked, I scraped by, I built a fragile independence out of stubbornness. And then, one day, Mercy called. "Dinner at the old house," she said. Her voice was sugar-coated poison. "Wear something nice." I should have known better. Mercy never invited me anywhere unless she wanted to watch me bleed. The dining room looked just as it had when Grandpa was alive, mahogany table, velvet drapes, the chandelier blazing like fire above us. But the warmth was gone. Mercy sat at the head of the table, draped in silk, her nails polished like knives. I sat opposite, in a simple black dress. The lawyer sat beside us, his briefcase locked tight. He looked uncomfortable, like he knew what storm was about to break. Mercy poured herself wine, her eyes glittering. "I've decided to sell the ranch," she said, her voice dripping arrogance. "It's too much work for me. And besides, you wouldn't know what to do with it anyway." I clenched my jaw, anger boiling inside me. You can't just. That's when the lawyer interrupted. He pulled out the envelope, his voice formal but heavy with meaning. Your grandfather included a conditional clause, he said. If the ranch is ever to be sold, the inheritor must prove her rightful claim in front of both heirs. Mercy scoffed, waving her hand dismissively. This is ridiculous. It's mine. The will already says so. The lawyer ignored her and continued. Your grandfather left behind a sealed chest in the ranch attic. The chest can only be opened with a key, one that is in the possession of his true heir. Whoever possesses the key will be revealed as the rightful owner. My heart stopped. The key. I reached instinctively for the chain around my neck, but it wasn't there. My chest went cold. 2 weeks ago, Mercy had visited me in the city. She'd hugged me, her first hug in years. I hadn't realized until now what she had done. And then she pulled it out. The bronze key dangled from her fingers, catching the chandelier's light. Looking for this, she whispered, her smile a dagger. My stomach twisted with rage. That key was mine. Grandpa had given it to me. But in her hand, it looked like victory. The lawyer nodded grimly. The chest must be opened tonight. At midnight. Mercy's eyes gleamed. Then let's not waste time. I can't wait to watch her face when the truth comes out. The drive to the ranch felt like descending into a nightmare. The night was moonless, the sky heavy with storm clouds. By the time we arrived, the air smelled like rain and electricity. The house creaked as we entered, memories pressing in on me from every corner. The attic loomed above like a dark secret. When we climbed the narrow stairs, the chest sat in the middle of the dusty floor, just as the lawyer said. Heavy, carved with Grandpa's initials. Mercy dropped to her knees, slid the key into the lock, and turned it with a triumphant click. The chest opened. Inside wasn't money or deeds. It was letters. Dozens of them, tied with string. Mercy frowned, rifling through them. This is nonsense. One letter slipped free, landing at my feet. My name was written on it, Evelyn. My hands trembled as I opened it. My dearest Evelyn, it read. If you're reading this, Mercy has stolen from you. She craves what was never hers. That key was meant to test her, not to crown her. The true heir will be revealed in my final letter. Trust me, child. Justice will find its way. Tears blurred my eyes. He knew, I whispered. He knew what you'd do, Mercy. Mercy ripped the letter from my hands and shredded it. Lies, she screamed. All lies. The lawyer reached deeper into the chest and pulled out a single sealed envelope. Bold letters marked it, Final Will. He opened it slowly. His voice carried through the attic, deliberate and unshakable. The ranch is hereby transferred, to my granddaughter Evelyn, who embodies the values I hold most dear. To the one who worked the land, who loved it not for profit but for memory. To Evelyn. My name rang through the attic like thunder. Mercy's face twisted, her beauty collapsing into rage. No. This can't be. This was supposed to be mine. She lunged, ripping at the letter, clawing at the lawyer, but it was too late. The truth was spoken. The will was binding. And for the first time in my life, Mercy looked powerless. But Mercy wasn't finished. Over the following weeks, she launched her war. She accused me of forgery. She bribed witnesses. She even produced a fake letter, claiming Grandpa had changed his mind. Court hearings dragged on for months. Each day felt like drowning. But Grandpa had left me ammunition. Letters tucked away in books. Receipts showing my work on the ranch. Even old photographs with inscriptions on the back, Evelyn, future of the ranch. Piece by piece, I fought back. One night, Mercy cornered me outside the courthouse. Rain poured down, streaking her mascara, turning her beauty into something grotesque. "You'll regret this," she hissed, grabbing my arm. "I will destroy you. I will ruin everything you love." I looked her in the eye, my voice steady despite the storm. "You already tried. And you lost." But deep down, I knew she wasn't lying. Mercy's revenge was just beginning. Her schemes grew darker. She spread rumors that I had manipulated Grandpa in his old age. She tried to bribe the judge. She even hired men to vandalize the ranch, breaking windows, slaughtering chickens, setting fire to the barn. But every time, I rebuilt. Every time, I rose. And slowly, the town turned against her. People whispered. Former friends avoided her. Her reputation, once her crown, crumbled piece by piece. The final blow came when the court declared me the sole heir. Mercy's lies were exposed. Her forged documents shredded in front of her. The judge's gavel struck like thunder. Mercy didn't scream this time. She just collapsed in her chair, silent, broken. The ranch became mine, not just by law, but by spirit. I restored it, not into what it once was, but into something new. Horses ran free. Children from the town came to learn to ride. Every sunrise felt like forgiveness. But I never forgave Mercy. I visited her once, in her tiny apartment downtown, stripped of wealth and pride. She looked at me with hollow eyes, her voice a whisper. "Why couldn't you just let me win?" I leaned close, my words sharp. "Because, Mercy, Grandpa didn't choose me out of favoritism. He chose me because I loved the ranch. And you? You only loved yourself." Her silence was the sweetest victory. That night, I stood on the ranch porch, the stars wide above me, the land stretching endless and mine. Revenge didn't taste like fire, it tasted like justice, slow and steady. Grandpa hadn't just left me land. He'd left me strength. He'd left me truth. And with that, I finally understood. The ranch wasn't just mine. It always had been. The end.